Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in again to another episode of CivilianTacticalWeapons.com. Today's episode is actually going to be on an Eotech 516. I'm going to go ahead and compare this to the 512 models that I've actually done reviews on in the past. So a couple things to note. The operations, the look are very similar. On the M45 conversion I've done, actually has a 512 on it, so just to show you a little bit about what the 516 looks like. Heights are pretty much the same, width is fairly the same. The only thing you're going to notice is this is actually a little bit longer on the front than the 512. I'm sorry, 512 is longer than the 516. And let me kind of explain why that is. The 516 uses different batteries. So these are actually using the CR123A type batteries, versus the other one actually are using, these are using just traditional AA batteries. So that's actually one of the reasons you're going to see where they're actually, you're going to see that there's different batteries in here. So the one thing to realize is, one, historically, I've always went with the 512s. They're becoming a little harder and harder to come by. But one of the big reasons that I really started liking the 516s, however, is the fact that, most of your new LED tactical lighting equipment you're going to get is going to be using 123A batteries. But they've actually done some redesigns on this. So if we actually flip over to look on the other side, the 512 actually mounts, and it has like a hex wrench that you use to actually mount it onto the rail kit. You'll notice that on the 516s now, there's actually just a big knob here. So you have a self-adjusting screw, so you can pop these on and off pretty quickly, without having to actually use any special tools to be able to do that. The other thing that you'll see is if you look on the back, the 512s are operated by turning the lights. To turn it on, you push one button. To turn them off, you push both of the buttons on at the same time. You can turn them up or down. Will control the intensity of the actual ring. That's all controlled by using the buttons back here. However, as you can see, a lot of times you have rear sights. You're kind of moving your fingers in here, so it's kind of a narrow spot to be able to get in there to adjust. If you look on the 516s, they've actually moved these buttons all along the side. So I can go ahead and turn this device on right here. So I can go ahead and adjust everything right off on the side of the gun. So I don't have to actually be inside looking at the gun and having to try to get my fingers in here. This is nice when you have a gun that may have a shorter Picatinny rail system on top, where you may not have as much room and you want to move it further back. These types of things can get in the way. So like for example on this one, I'm limited to keeping it up just a hair forward so I can still get my fingers in here. Whereas with this one, I could actually pretty much push it all the way to the back. If you're looking at the reason where this also becomes helpful of not having the buttons in the back is if you look at, I showed you my Smith & Wesson AR-15, the M&P 15T model of the AR that I use made by Smith & Wesson. I have a 3x magnifier on the back that flips to the side. It becomes a problem getting into these buttons with the scope in place. I have to flip the scope out the side to get into here. So having the buttons on the side in general is just a much better way to go. As far as other differences here, I mean, other similarities I should say, they've all got this little second, ballistic shield over it. So you see this is going to really take a beating. I've got some scratches on the side of this one from hitting it a couple times. The operations, adjustments are still on the other side, so if you look on the 512, you've got your adjustments over there. Same thing on the 516. So just as a review, mainly, we want to look at the three main differences between these. Is one, the CR123 batteries versus AA. So 516 uses the CR123 batteries. The 512 uses AA's, which also makes this one shorter. The other benefit is you've got the to turn the sight on and off, the adjustments are on the side. And thirdly, actually to fasten it on and off requires no tools, so you don't have to actually carry around that little hex tool if you want to be able to take it on and off. You can actually just unscrew it on and off. Those three things in a nutshell are the main differences. If you want to talk about price, the 512, because it doesn't have some of these additional features, will run you on average about $50 cheaper. The retail on this I think is $499. Most of the time you'll see them for just under $450. Eotech currently has a rebate special going on until I think the end of this year, from all purchases from October 1st through the end of the year, where they're actually doing a $50 rebate on a lot of the models, with the exception of the 512. I think there's only a $30 rebate on this, but you have all sorts of different options for rebates there. So if you want to get one of these, I'd recommend you get them while you can get the extra $50 off. So that being said, if you have any questions, please email me at info@civiliantacticalweapons.com, and I hope to see you in a future episode.